Hi everyone, this is Dr. Jonathan Kuttner. We're going to explore something else today. Now, I work as a chronic pain specialist and I'm the kind of end of the road doctor. So what happens is people have seen everybody. They have seen surgeons and various specialists and so on, and they often end up with me. And so I have a peculiar and very individual specialty of knowledge about chronic pain. And what I've noticed over the years is that, and I'm sure for people who have chronic pain, that what you have is this wide, incredibly troubling set of symptoms. They're so weird and they're so strange and they trouble you in so many different ways that you think, you almost feel embarrassed. You think, I don't quite know how I'm going to tell the doctor about everything that's bothering me. So what you do is you kind of drip feed it. So you may go and see your family practitioner and say, well, look, I've got this horrible pain in my shoulder, and the doctor says, oh, okay, how did it happen? And then you give your history, and you don't then say, well, actually what happens is my whole arm feels like it tingles, and then I get this weird feeling in my head, and my bladder doesn't work, and so you've got all these other symptoms that are really bugging you, but you kind of keep it simple because you've only got a short time, and anyway you don't really want to talk about it. So what happens is you then end up seeing a shoulder specialist, and specialists are people that look down even smaller tubes than family practitioners. So your specialist could be just the front of the eye or the eyelid. I mean, people so super specialized that it's quite scary, really. So you end up seeing a shoulder specialist who then does something to your shoulder. And really, what you should have been talking about was something that affected this half of your body, and there was all this other weird stuff. So then this sort of doesn't really get better, because just treating the shoulder is only one tiny little corner. So then you come back and you say, oh, also I've got this thing that's really bothering me about my bladder. So you end up with a urologist, and then you end up with a gastroenterologist for your bowel, and you end up with an endocrinologist because you feel hot and cold, and you find that you have symptoms that could be coming from your thyroid or from somewhere else. And so you end up going to this whole array, if you even go there, because often you just suffer in silence. And this is really, really sad, because each specialty is looking only at one tiny little corner. It's like there's this huge elephant, you know, the famous story about the elephant and the 7 blind men, and each blind man is only, so the one says, oh, this thing feels like a sail, and he's feeling the elephant's ears, and this other one says, no, it's like a big trunk of a tree, and the other one says, no, it's a big snake, because he's got the trunk. And none of them sees the big elephant. And the real problem is that you are living this life with all these awful symptoms. And the saddest thing is that they are all can be put together into one big, completely explainable package, which you can then improve. So chronic pain, when chronic pain occurs in an area, it turns on problems in your pain system. The messages go up to your brain, where the messaging starts to affect, which is in your thalamus. So all the messages come flying up to your thalamus, deep inside your lizard brain, deep in your midbrain. Those messages come and then they spread across. So they spread to your fight and flight area. And because the messages are danger messages, your whole fight and flight system starts to malfunction. And that may affect your bowel, it may affect your bladder, may affect your blood pressure, may affect your temperature regulation. It may spread to affect other parts of your body. All of this has nothing to do with what's happening in your body, but it has everything to do with what goes wrong when your pain system starts to malfunction. So if you were to talk about this whole thing, all the myriads of horrible symptoms, you can't sleep, you're exhausted, your mood is affected, you find that things previously that you used to enjoy are meaningless, your whole life has shrunk down. Now, when you start talking like this, then if you have a wise doctor, they will send you to somebody who can put it all together. Otherwise you end up seeing all these different doctors, none of them, each one does some kind of treatment which may help a little, but actually because you're not treating what the real problem is, often it actually makes things worse in a different way. So there's like dominoes and stuff like that. So it's very, very important. My message to you is, if you take all your symptoms, write them down, sit down with your doctor, put it on your doctor's desk so that they will understand that who you need is a pain specialist or a multidisciplinary pain clinic where people really get it. They really understand how pain systems work and how they go wrong. Also, visit lifeafterpain.com. That's my website, and you'll get a link to it just below. And there is full of information about how chronic pain, what happens in chronic pain. And if you're really interested, I have a club, which is a club of where people get together who are on the same journey, and there's a forum where you can put out the specific problems that you have, and on that I come into the forum. It's a Facebook page, and I will answer questions. But even more exciting is what happens is that people who have been on that journey and a year or two down there longer than you, who have moved forward, often will then write and say, hey, look, this is what worked for me, or don't go there, go here and do this. So information from people who are on the path with you, it's just gold. It's just gold. So I encourage you to do this and get out of pain, get your life back.